Welcome to this deep dive, tailored just for you. Today, we're digging into some fascinating sources, looking at a world where, well, magic is definitely real.
Yeah, but maybe not quite as grand or straightforward as you might think from fantasy stories. We're looking at The Last Dragonslayer by Jasper Fforde.
Right. It's set in the Ununited Kingdoms, and dragons are. Well, let's just say they're a bit of a complicated topic there.
Very complicated. And we've got this young woman who finds herself sort of accidentally pushed into this huge high-stakes situation.
So our mission here is to unpack all that. We'll look at the key players, the specific way magic works, this big prophecy everyone's talking about.
And how this one teenager, Jennifer Strange, navigates it all. It's a world really on the brink of some major changes. We want to pull out the essentials for you.
Okay, so where do we start? Not a grand castle, right?
No, not at all. We start at Kazam Mystical Arts Management, which is based in this rather rundown former hotel, Zambini Towers.
Zambini Towers. Sounds interesting. And the sources make it clear it's not exactly glamorous.
Definitely not. Think cracked windows, maybe a self-folding laundry spell that takes forever if the magic's low. Oh, and the elevator.
Ah, yes, the elevator. You literally have to shout the floor number into the shaft.
Right, and then just step into the void and, hope the magic catches you. It's pretty wild.
And the building itself is important somehow.
Yeah, that's a really cool detail. Zambini Towers acts like a giant battery soaking up what they call whimsical power.
So all the magic users draw from the building.
Pretty much. It explains why sometimes even simple spells might not work right away if the power level is down.
Okay, and holding all this slightly chaotic magic together is Jennifer Strange.
That's her. She's the protagonist. She's young, almost 16, acting manager.
And the sources say she's there through indentured servitude? Sounds intense.
It is. But it's also made her really sharp, practical, and wise beyond her years. She has to be.
She's a foundling too, right? Raised by some interesting nuns.
Uh-huh. The Sisterhood of the Blessed Ladies of the Lobster. And yes, the lobster thing is real. Apparently, they had a tradition of naming foundlings after crustaceans. Jennifer Strange is lucky compared to, say, tiger prawns.
Tiger prawns, okay. And the head nun, Mother Zenobia.
Oh, yeah. She has this amazing backstory. Used to be a record-holding air racer before joining the Sisterhood. Just casually dropped in there.
Wow. Okay, so what about the rest of the team at Kazam? Who else is working there?
It's quite a crew. You've got the licensed sorcerers, people like Mubin, Full Price, and Lady Malgon.
Lady Morgan sounds memorable.
Oh, she is. Very traditional. Wears these rustling crinolines that apparently sparkle like distant fireworks. And she has a bit of a temper, especially about respecting the big magic.
And what do these sorcerers actually do? Big, epic spells.
Sometimes experimental stuff, yeah. Like Mubin accidentally blew his door off once.
Yeah.
But mostly it's more practical things, magical rewiring, stuff like that, day-to-day jobs.
Right, and there's someone called Patrick of Ludlow, the mover.
Ah, Patrick. He's got this unique gift for passive levitation, like special muscles around his ankles and wrists.
Weird. What does he use it for?
Mostly mundane things, actually. Removing illegally parked cars is a big one for Kazam's income. The sources mention he has some kind of difficult past, something about marzipan issues. It's vague, but clearly something he overcame.
And a precog. Someone who sees the future.
That's remarkable Kevin Zip. Class 4 premonition certificate holder.
Does he predict, like, lottery numbers?
Well, he can predict small things like flower colors blooming, and he gets these really big visions, sometimes full 3D, stereo color, the works. But weirdly, he can't predict his own future. Apparently, terrible luck betting on races.
So, okay. So, quirky sorcerers, a levitator, a precog. Any other residents?
There's Hector, the transient moose.
A moose? Just leave him there?
Seems like it, just sort of is. And then there's a quark beast.
The quark beast. The name alone is something. The sources make him sound terrifying.
Visually, yeah. Open knife drawer on legs is one description. Part Labrador, part Velociraptor, part kitchen blender. But Jennifer insists he's actually a total sweetie. Fiercely loyal to her. Apparently performs tricks like grinding concrete gnomes.
Okay. And reproduces how?
Quantum reproduction. They just appear, which, as you can imagine, causes some issues later on.
I bet. Who else? You mentioned Tiger Prawns earlier.
Right, Tiger. He's another foundling sent from the Sisterhood. He's really smart, observant. He fails the initial Kazam test, but he picks up carpeteering that's active levitation, like flying carpets.
For who?
From Nasal and Owen, these two guys who use it to deliver stuff like takeaway food and even transplant organs. Tiger becomes Jennifer's apprentice, her confidant. Really important character.
And briefly, the sisters Karamazov.
Yeah, just mentioned as elderly former sorceresses living in the towers. They like to prod things.
Right. Okay, so that's Kazam, this slightly chaotic magical hub, but there's a bigger storm brewing, isn't there? Something about the Dragonlands.
Exactly. About 20 miles away, there's this territory, the Dragonlands. It's separated by these marker stones that create a force field.
And this was set up, why?
400 years ago, by a figure called the Mighty Shandar. It was his answer to the dragon question.
Which was?
Dragons eating people. A bit of a problem.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So Shandar agreed to deal with it, but for a massive payment. 20 dray weights of gold, which sounds like a fortune. He created the Dragonlands Haven and basically retrained the Dragonslayer at the time to be more of a peacekeeper.
So the dragons have just been living there ever since.
Living and dying, yeah, of old age. And now there's only one left, Maltcassion.
The last dragon. And how's he viewed?
Publicly hated, that media calls him a loathsome worm. There's a lot of fear and dislike.
But the sources give us his side, too.
They do, and it's fascinating. He looks like a pile of rubble with these Jew-like eyes. He's got this very detached, almost cynical view. He talks about conservation bias, how humans only care about cuddly, cute, fluffy things.
And argues what?
That, mainly insects, is a better summary of life on Earth. He even calls humans built inside out compared to lobsters. He can see outside our visible spectrum, has incredible hearing. He's ancient, intelligent, and very different.
Not just a monster to be slain, but his time is running out. That's where the prophecy comes in.
Exactly. Premonitions start popping up everywhere. Kevin Zip at Kazam gets a huge one, rates it 12 out of 10 for certainty.
12 out of 10.
Yeah, that's Kevin for you. Another precog confirms it. Maltcassion will die on Sunday at noon precisely.
And this news gets out.
Oh, yeah. Spreads like wildfire. Hits the national news, the UKBC. Suddenly, everyone knows.
And the stakes are huge, right?
Yeah.
Because when he dies...
The force field around the Dragonlands drops. All that land becomes available, instantly claimable.
Which brings in the politics. King Snod IV of Hereford.
Right. He sees this as his big chance. He argues the Dragonlands historically belonged to Hereford. He wants that land partly to expand, partly to stop his rival getting it.
His rival being?
The Duke of Brecon. His duchy borders the Dragonlands, too. Snod wants Jennifer because only she, as the presumed Dragonslayer in waiting, can enter the Dragonlands freely to go in before noon on Sunday and claim the land for Hereford.
So using her to get a jump on everyone else.
Exactly. And the sources suggest Snod might even use the whole situation as an excuse, a pretext, to invade Brecon anyway.
And the Duke of Brecon.
He also wants some land, obviously. Brecon's smaller, poorer. But mostly he's terrified. Snod will use any skirmish over the Dragonlands as a reason for a full-scale invasion of his country, of Wales. He's preparing to fight.
So international tensions rising. Anyone else want a piece of the Dragonland?
Oh, yes. Enter Mr. Trimble from Consolidated Useful Stuff or Con Stuff, a property developer.
Let me guess. Retail parks? Housing estates?
You got it. Refineries, too. He sees nothing but development potential. And he tries to bribe Jennifer.
How much?
2 million Herefordian moolah, a huge sum. He just wants the exact time of the prophecy, Sunday noon, confirmed so he can get his surveyors ready.
And he's playing dirty, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. He admits to Jennifer later that he orchestrated fake dragon attacks, messing with a truck, scattering some torn-apart cow carcasses just to make Maltcassion look rogue and dangerous, to justify getting rid of him faster.
Wow. So Jennifer, this kid, is caught right in the middle of all this. Greed, politics, impending war.
And unlike pretty much everyone else, her first instinct isn't to exploit the situation or kill the dragon. She actually wants to understand Maltcassion, talk to him.
Which puts her completely at odds with some very powerful people.
Hugely. And it forces her to try and figure things out for herself. She starts digging, trying to find a link between dragons and magic, trying to find out who the actual last Dragonslayer is.
Did she find anything?
Not much on dragons in the library, but Mother Zenobia gives her a lead. William of Anorak.
The trivia guy.
The walking encyclopedia of useless facts, yeah. Found him on a coal truck, apparently. He rattles off facts like the average pips in a tangerine.
5.368, obviously.
Right. But he does know where the Dragonslayer is. Right.
How much this time?
M400. Jennifer basically has to sell everything she owns, her car, her books, even half a piano.
She's really committed. So where does he send her?
To a pub, the Duck and Ferret, to find a man named Brian Spalding.
And Spalding is?
An old man. Looks younger, maybe 70s, but he's actually nearly 150 thanks to old magic. And here's the kicker. He tells Jennifer he's been waiting for her for 30 years.
Whoa. So he is the last Dragonslayer.
He was. He lives in the Dragon Station, looks like a normal house, but has the sign, and inside, this amazing armored Rolls Royce.
Armored with spikes.
Yep. Never used it, apparently. And he has the sword, Exorbitus.
Exorbitus.
Yeah.
Sounds expensive.
The sources say it's power-assisted, cuts through anything, and yeah, very expensive. Maybe that's where the name comes from.
So he's going to train her. Go with her.
No. That's a big reveal. He tells Jennifer she isn't the apprentice. She is the last Dragonslayer. Her name was on Shandar's list all along. His old magic is fading. He can't go with her on Sunday. His entire purpose for decades was just to wait for her and pass on the tools of the trade.
That's a lot to take in for a teenager.
Absolutely massive. Meanwhile, back at Kazam, things are heating up too. Tiger Prawns is trying to hold down the fort while Jennifer's gone.
Dealing with Lady Morgan.
Yeah, she's furious. Jennifer isn't just selling the prophecy date. She keeps dismissing Jennifer, saying she's just a foundling who got lucky, wants to cash in.
But Tiger handles it.
He does. He's also dealing with pressure from Trimble and others wanting that date. So Tiger makes a really smart, ethical move.
What did he do?
He leaks the date Sunday at noon to the UKBC News. Makes it public knowledge.
Why?
He says his conscience is clear because dragons are noble creatures. It completely neutralizes Trimble's advantage, stops anyone profiting secretly from the info. But
It's Jennifer even more in the spotlight.
exactly. The pressure on her just ramps up incredibly. She becomes a national figure overnight. The power of the media, as the sources note.
She even goes on TV.
Yeah, the Yogi Baird show tries to give the dragons perspective, but the host just wants to keep it light, doesn't take her seriously at all.
And the king doesn't let up.
No way. King Snod tries financial pressure, sends a Mr. Hawker, a debt collector, demanding centuries of back rent and bills for the Dragon Station Scalding lived in.
How much?
M97,482. A fortune. Threatens her with debtor's prison if she can't pay.
How does she get out of that?
Her new fame actually helps. She gets an endorsement offer from Fizzy Pop.
Fizzy Pop. The drink.
Yep. For M100,000, enough to pay the debt. The catch. She has to turn the awesome armored Dragonslayer Rolls Royce into a rolling billboard. Personally sponsored by Fizzy Pop.
Ah, the indignity. But clever.
Very. But Snod still isn't done. He declares her Quark Beast a dangerous animal. Uses it as an excuse to censor Matt Grifflon to arrest her.
Grifflon.
Described as Hereford's most eligible bachelor, but he's also a knight who apparently wants Jennifer's job, the Dragonslayer title. He wants to kill her and take over. So the arrest is just a pretext.
Even internal politics at Kazam.
Lady Morgan tries one last thing. She goes to King Snod's brother, the apparently useless minister for foundling affairs, trying to get Jennifer and Tiger's indentures released, hoping to sideline them.
Does it work?
Nope. Only Mr. Zambini, the original owner, can sign their release, and he's long gone. So, ironically, Lady Morgan ends up having to help protect Jennifer from Grifflon's men, citing her duty to the big magic.
So Jennifer needs to escape again.
Yes, and Tiger helps orchestrate it brilliantly. They disguise the Quark Beast in a pram.
A pram series.
Yeah. Tiger figured the guards wouldn't bother a woman with a baby, playing on their empathy. They slip out of Zambini Towers, get past the police cordon around the Dragon Station, and Jennifer grabs the sword, Exorbitus.
And then she heads for the Dragonlands.
Almost. Right near the boundary, she has this strange encounter. A voice on the wind, old, weak magic. It's a manifestation of the mighty Shandar.
Shindar, the guy who made the Dragon Pact. What does he say?
This is the really confusing part. He tells her explicitly not to kill the dragon.
What? But his whole pact was about dealing with the dragon question. Why would he say that?
Exactly. It makes no sense based on what she knows. It throws everything into doubt right before she has to go in.
Okay, so she's confused, probably terrified, driving a Fizzy Pop car towards a dying dragon and possibly a war. Climax time, Sunday noon.
Right. She drives the rolls into the Dragonlands. The sources say she feels a crackle as she passes the marker stones unharmed. Outside, huge crowds are waiting, ready to rush in.
And she sees Trimble inside.
Yeah, he somehow got in. He's boasting about his development plans, confirming he faked the attacks. Just pure arrogance.
And his associate follows him, Gordon Van Gordon.
Tries to. Steps across the boundary after Trimble. And just poof, vaporized by the force field.
Why?
Sources say he wasn't a Dragonslayer or apprentice. Couldn't pass. Just pure arrogance getting him killed. The magic has rules.
Wow. But then tragedy strikes Jennifer personally, right?
Yes. The Quark Beast. He followed her in, trying to protect her. And he's killed. It's implied Trimble might be involved, or maybe just the chaotic energy near the boundary.
Oh no, after everything.
It's brutal. She buries him there, just scratches Quark and the date on a stone. She remembers the legend that Quark beasts are sent by a father's spirit. It's a deeply sad moment.
And she has to go on, meet Maltcassion.
She finds him in his clearing,
Mm.
and he's compassionate. He understands her grief for the Quark beast. He seems to understand everything.
Including his own death. The prophecy.
Yeah. He talks about how premonitions often come true because people want them to, because belief makes them happen. The observer effect, basically. He tells Jennifer it's out of their hands now. The big magic is locked in.
Does he know what the big magic is?
No. Only that he can't see anything beyond noon on Sunday.
So noon arrives.
Oh.
All that build up.
Nothing. At first. Just silence. The marker stone stops humming. Jennifer feels completely alone.
But then?
Then the artillery starts. King Snod's forces just shelling the Dragonlands blindly. The war starting anyway.
And Jennifer.
This is the turning point. The rage over Trimble, over the Quark beast's death, the grief it combines with what the sources call this huge wave of collective emotion, the scream of dragons long dead, the feelings of the crowds outside, and Jennifer just screams.
An actual scream.
Yes, but it's more than that. It channels all that energy. The sky goes dark, lightning hits the marker stone, splits it right open, and the big magic happens.
What is the big magic? What happens?
A darkness opens up. When it clears, Maltcassion is gone, just ash and his jewel eyes left behind.
So he's dead. The prophecy came true.
Yes, but not the end of the story. From the darkness, from the ash, 2 new dragons emerge. Feldspar Axiom Firebreath IV and Colin.
Colin. A dragon named Colin.
Apparently. And they explain everything. Dragons aren't extinguished by being slain by a Dragonslayer, they're renewed. Kill one, 2 rise.
So that's why Shandar warned her. He didn't want more dragons.
Exactly. Death by old age, fine. Death by Dragonslayer, that triggers rebirth. This whole thing, the prophecy, Maltcassion's death, it was a plan by the dragons 40 decades in the making to undo Shandar's magic and recharge wizardrical power in the world.
Wow. So the war.
Stops instantly. The guns fall silent. The force field comes back up, but the new dragons can pass through it. The Dragonlands stay Dragonlands. The land grab is off.
And Jennifer learned something about herself in all
A
this.
huge thing. The new dragons tell her she's a berserker.
A berserker.
Yeah.
Like the Viking warriors.
Kind of. A rare type who can channel intense rage like her scream into incredible power. That's what triggered the big magic. Her calm upbringing hid it, but it was there all along. They tell her she needs to learn control.
So what happens right after? She must be exhausted.
Completely drained, shaking, feverish, slept for 3 days straight back at Kazam. Wizard Mubin is the first to greet her, just says, "You did it?"
And the wider world.
Well, the war between Hereford and Brecon is off, at least for now. Magic gets a major boost worldwide, this added flavor. Old wizards come out of retirement. Kazam's own sorcerers find their powers ramped up. Suddenly, they're in high demand.
Does the public stay focused on dragons?
Nope. The sources say they move on pretty quickly to the next news cycle. Typical.
But Jennifer's life is fundamentally changed.
Absolutely. She's not just the acting manager or a foundling anymore. She's the acknowledged last dragon slayer. She's central to this return of potent magic, and she's this berserker with a power she barely understands. She has to figure out how to be all those things, run Kazam, and just live.
What a journey. From that leaky roof at Zambiti Towers, dealing with cranky sorcerers and weird elevators, to being at the absolute center of a prophecy that changes the world, averts a war, and brings dragons back.
Yeah, the key things to pull from these sources are really striking. You know, the mundane reality behind a magical organization, the sheer power of belief and prophecy shaping events, the unexpected truth about dragons and magic being cyclical.
And how someone seemingly ordinary, a foundling, can hold the key to everything because of something hidden inside her, like that berserker rage.
Right. So it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? This big magic needed the prophecy. It needed everyone believing it. It needed Maltcassion's cooperation. And it needed Jennifer's specific berserker ability triggered by grief and anger.
So what does that really tell us about where power comes from in this world? Is it all destiny? Is it just collective belief making things happen? Or is it something, much more personal and volatile tied to individuals like Jennifer?
And for Jennifer herself, finding out you have this incredible, dangerous power linked to your deepest rage. Is that ultimately a gift she can learn to use, or is it a burden she'll always carry? Something to definitely chew on.